Hello, everyone. So glad you guys are here today. I took a blog post from a long time ago that was getting a lot of attention and people were really enjoying it. And I turned it into a freebie. And then I decided, you know what? Let me make it even better. So what am I talking about? Stay tuned as Beth and I share with you the new and improved 50 plus ways to be able to get online tutoring students. That's right. Stay tuned so you can hear more, you guys. So Beth, this past weekend, I shared with you this new tool that I created and revised it and all of that kind of stuff. What were your thoughts when you first saw it?
Oh my goodness. So first of all, my first impression was that it just looked absolutely beautiful right off the bat, just the way that you designed it. But then as I read it more in depth, it really took people on a step-by-step kind of process and journey from here's what you need to do first and next and next and it's amazing how in depth it is. And I thought the old one was in depth, but this one is even more so, and it gives people so many action steps, which I'm really excited about because it's one thing to give people a bunch of ideas as to how to get students, and that's awesome. But, sometimes, at least for me, I don't know, this might just be a me thing, but when I have a bunch of ideas about how to get students, I tend to my brain goes into overwhelm and I don't know which ones to do and how and all of that. And so you completely take all of that away. And so it was really, really cool. Because you give people action steps and processes to take and so it's really amazing.
Yeah, and I think too, you guys, what I want you to see as you take a look at this and you think about your own tutoring business, think about how you can make your freebie awesome. It really stand out to really tell your story and what it is that you do. And so I'm going to kind of unveil some of those pieces. So we've got two perspectives right now that we're going to take a look at, because a freebie is a way to be able to get online tutoring students, right? Because people can download your freebie, they get on your email list, you create content and you share that content with them. And once in a while, you might ask them to take a next step with you, right? And so you're going to see that process as you go through and you take a look at this. And if you haven't had a chance, if you downloaded the old version, awesome. Thank you. But I would highly suggest anybody who's downloaded the old version to also download this new version. The link is inside of the description. Beth is going to grab it and put it inside of the chat inside of here. I'm going to open it on up and share with you a little bit more about this. So as we take a look at this, you guys, you can see here, I've really used images. This is my office, right? So you're actually getting to see a back side view of my office and what it looks like. I have my beautiful, aromatherapy going on over here on the side. That really is my office, and this really is me with one of my students. This is using the new tool that they have, which is the immersive screen with Zoom. And so you too could be looking like you're sitting right next to your student, even though you guys are online, which makes it really, really fun. So I've used, personal images throughout this freebie. And I think that can really help you as well when you're creating a freebie to be able to get an online tutoring student. And
Sorry. I was just going to say, this is really kind of a gold standard of freebies and really an example to follow.
Yeah.
For us, at least in the design and the thoroughness. Obviously, we have different topics, but the way that you put it together. So, absolutely.
And I think it makes you stand out even more professional. So if you are looking for, I did download a template from eBay and made it my own. And that's something that you can do as well. As you can go to eBay for, $5-10. You can download, a template that's just beautifully organized and designed, or you can use some of the templates that are right inside of Canva and be able to design your own freebie that way as well. And then here I let people know, who I am, how long I've been in business, and why did I create this? And this is true story. Those of you guys who know me, you've heard me say this before. I remember how frustrating it was to want to tutor but not work for a tutoring company, but I had no idea how to market my services. And this is exactly why I made a promise to myself. I said, if I ever figure out effective systems for getting students, then I will help other tutors do the same so they can keep the profit and make the biggest impact on their students. Like, this is my story. This is my why. This is why I do what I do. And you can state something like that on your freebie as well that you create. Like, why is it that you do what you do? This isn't the place where you're like, I got my master's degree and as a reading specialist, I, have tutored kids for this many years. I mean, it was just like real quick, right? Back in 2010, that's when I got started. Right? When did you get started? If you're just getting started, write the year. I don't care if it's 2021, got started in, August of 2021. And the reason why I do that by year versus how many years, I could have said, right, it's been 11 years. But then what if, this freebie goes on and on and on, and I don't use that, like I'm still using the same freebie. Well, now it's been 12 years, or now it's been 13 years, now it's been 14 years. So that's why I put the year in there. So whatever the year is for you, you can put that in there as well. And then here, just really, really connecting with my ideal client. And that's what this is all about. These are professional photos that I had taken from a photographer that I have put inside of here. And notice how it just really personalizes the experience for the reader. I'm taking them on a journey with me. So using too many stock photos could really defer people from really wanting to, connect with me. So glad that we have Amy and in the house, and Patricia Corcoran. Thank you guys for joining us today. And we've got the King of Calculus, which, by the way, I get to meet the King of Calculus next week. I'm so excited.
Yeah, you do.
I can't wait to meet the King of Calculus and get to know him a little bit better. What were you going to say, Beth?
Also, I was just going to say, I love that you even have Mr. Champ in your photo on the cover. Your sweet doggo.
Yes.
It just even more shows, that, you're a real person with, just, your real life, and it's really wonderful.
And I think that's it. Yeah, at the end of the day, when people say to me, they'll say things like, oh my gosh, I'm actually getting to meet you, Joanne Kaminski. I really do like connecting with you guys a lot. And they'll be like, do you even know how big you are in my life, or how famous you are? And I just think no, because I just keep doing what I do every day. I come down to my basement and I try to reach out and help as many people as I possibly can. I'm not getting in my head about how big my YouTube numbers are or my Facebook group is. I'm excited that those numbers are growing. But at the end of the day, that just allows me to continue to help the people I was meant to serve. Right. And so this is me. This is who I am. In fact, I'm actually wearing the same shirt as I am in that picture. How funny is that? You could think this picture was taken today. But it was not. But here, you guys, here it is. I get it. We have this fear of getting out there. I was there, to get that professional headshot, put our face on marketing material. It feels weird. You see Habish and Rotier, and you see a picture of them, or you see different realtors that put their picture on stuff, and you just think, oh my gosh, how, nobody is actually looking at that being how weird that they put their picture on there. They do that so they stand out, so that you know who they are, because people connect with people. They're not going to connect with your stock photos, though, are they? When you take a look at me, look, I get it. Can you feel that? Just from that one thing, that one picture there, I get it. This is not easy. Sharing your image is hard, but you are your brand, right? You are not a logo. I understand that a lot of people think that we want to be like McDonald's. I get that. But unless you're building a larger tutoring business, you will never be a McDonald's. And nobody cares what your logo looks like. They want to know what you look like.
And I feel that's actually a huge advantage that we have over these, bigger tutoring companies, is that, we've mentioned this before, Joanne, that people can choose us, they can choose to work with us. And so if people don't know who you are and, what you look like, sound like, what your personality is, they're much less likely to go with you. They have to know who you are. And so that's a huge advantage that we have over big tutoring companies. And so
Yeah.
it's I mean, and in this freebie you talk about different ways to get out there and get people to know about you, which is awesome.
Yeah.
So,
And not to be afraid to put your image on your flyers, on your website,
yeah,
everywhere you can think of, because
huge.
again, you are trying to connect with people. And how do we connect with people? As ourselves, right? By putting
Mm-hmm.
ourselves on out there. And I hear people say all the time, like, Joanne, I don't look like you. I know. Isn't that awesome? If y'all looked like me, that would be a really scary world. It would be like you'd see Joanne Kaminski like everywhere. That would be creepy. You want to look like you. You want to stand out as being you. And I know we all have flaws. Okay, look at this. I like my eyebrows. They're disappearing with old age. Okay, I've got wrinkles here. That's okay. They can take some of that stuff out. Here, I added some makeup. You can see, right? So I added on some makeup to make my eyebrows look a little thicker, right? Show the best version of you. I don't go into a photo shoot like the way that I wake up out of bed, right? I do a photo shoot giving my first best impression. Like I'm going to I do my hair like I'm going to go to a wedding, right? And I take time to do my makeup, and I take time. And do I take time to do my makeup every single day? No, but it makes me feel better when I look at those photos, right? That I have put my best look forward, whether I like the way that I look or not. That doesn't matter to any of you, does it? Whether I like the way I look or not, right? It doesn't matter to you, Beth, whether I could pick myself apart to pieces. All of us can. Okay. I've seen the most gorgeous people in the world still pick apart pieces of their image that they don't like. So it doesn't matter. Let's say that I had this amazingly beautiful birthmark that I was given on my face. You know what? That makes you stand out, that you're not afraid to be who you are, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that this is who you are. And I think it's okay to be who you are and have the most beautiful you photographed by a professional that will see that beauty in you and take some really great photos. It really does make a difference. In this new version, I have a checklist, but there's also a workbook page with that checklist. So I share with you guys how to kind of go through that and be able to use it. So here is just an example, like strategies I'd like to try. And I know, like Beth, right now you're getting a car sign for your car. So here's me printing it, and here's me like writing it, right? It doesn't matter which one you choose to do. You can print this out, or you can write. It's totally up to you what you want to do. And then you're really paying attention then to which strategies would I like to try? Which ones am I not willing to try yet? Like, let's just put that out there. Which one of these are you not willing to try as you take a look at them? Because they're a yet. You're not willing to try them yet, but I still want them to be on the surface of your brain as an option. When we look at a list, here's what happens a lot of times. We look at the list and we're like, don't want to do that, don't want to do that, don't want to do that. But so we are totally like excluding it as an option, and then we limit our opportunities. And so I think here, just to even write down and say, look, I'm not willing to try this yet. We can come back to this in a month and say, how did the ones that I did try, how did they go? How did they work for me? So this isn't just like a download it quick tool and I'm done with it. This is like an ongoing tool I'd love for you guys to be able to utilize for your business.
Yeah. And it's nice that we have a place to keep track of, the methods that are working and that we might need to tweak, because, it's not really helpful to just try all these methods and then not know which ones are actually working for the business, because then we don't know which ones to repeat, which ones to tweak, which ones to maybe pause for right now.
Yeah.
So Yeah,
And so
definitely.
then to ask people, like when you're onboarding them, so how did you find me?
Yes,
That
that's
is such an
crucial.
important question because you'll never know. And if they say, I found you on Google, do you remember what you typed when you were typing in Google? Some people will, some people won't, but that will let you know, was there a keyword that you have to pay attention to that they typed into Google? Was it Google My Business? They put like reading tutors near me and they found you because of Google My Business. Right. So you want to pay attention to what is working and how people are finding you, because then that is right here. That's what goes in this category. Strategies that got a student. And most people will say word of mouth, but there's so much more. Like you can't ever count on word of mouth. So while word of mouth can be fabulous, word of mouth won't keep you going when you lose 4 students at once because it's the beginning of summer, right? And so this is really, really important. The old PDF, it looks like the old PDF is coming on up.
Yeah, that's what I just saw too. I will try it and I will let you
Oh, I
know what
wonder if
happens.
there's a link inside of there that I did not fix or didn't push save on that we have to go to. The one that goes into your email inbox will definitely be the right one. I like sent that email to myself like 10 times to make sure it was exactly what I wanted. So thank you for letting me know that was coming up like that. Then we have our strategies. Notice there's now, instead of numbers, there's check boxes. So here you're putting that check on the ones that you've already tried. And then at the end, you're going to come on over to that worksheet and you're going to then rewrite them here. I want you guys to totally be 100% on target when it comes to which strategies are working and for you to be cognizant of that. So write it down here in a few words of which ones are going to work for you. And then start thinking about, okay, what ones do I want to try? Write it down. And maybe there's some that I have listed there you've tried, but they haven't worked yet. List those down. You've tried them. You were not successful with that strategy. Now, here's the thing. A lot of people think because I wasn't successful with that strategy doesn't work. But if I have it on this list, it is because it has worked for tutors.
Yeah.
So I want you to keep that in mind. So sometimes there's tweaking that has to be done with a strategy you've tried that hasn't worked, or consistency over time. And I think that's another big key is we try something once and we're like, okay, that didn't work. I'm done. You know, like let me use like flyers for an example. Somebody tries a flyer and they put down, they create a flyer, but they've never really learned on like what features do you need when you create a flyer, what's going to be most important as you create this flyer. Those kinds of things are going to hinder you because you're it's like taking spaghetti and throwing it at a wall. Mm-hmm. Right? Like you're not aiming, you're just like, look, is it done? It's done. It's done. It sticks. Okay, cool. Let's print that baby off and send that on in. But sometimes you can have a professional like myself take a look at what did your flyer look at like and how can we make it better so I can get better results. We want to make sure that we speak to our ideal client. So the very first thing that the next piece I've given you guys is 5 mistakes that tutors make. Okay. These are the 5 mistakes that I have seen tutors make when they're doing it. And here I use stock photos and then, oh, my little thingy didn't come on over. It was a little finger that like pointed stock photo. But when it printed off as the PDF, it didn't show there. I'll have to go and see if I can fix that. But this is an example right here of a stock photo, right? Can you imagine if this freebie was just loaded with this kind of stuff and it had nothing about like me in there, right? That it definitely tells a different story when I put my image, when I put myself inside of there. Testimonials, let's say from a parent. They don't tell, people don't trust them. Copying other tutors' websites. You don't know what's working for them. And so it's like, oh, tutors have this, and this on their website, so that's what I should have. but they have absolutely no idea if that's what should be on there. It's based off of other tutors that they've seen, but they don't know if it's working, what's not working, right? Or they don't even tell their own story. If somebody like take my story and like put it on their website, I'm like, that's weird. Like, why would you even take my story, word for word, my story?
Idea.
Like,
Such a bad idea.
Not a good idea. You want that, The other one is sharing your tutoring approach. Nobody cares about your approach. They care about your results.
Yeah.
So don't get so stuck in the approach unless it's like a well-known approach. Like I'm talking worldwide. People hear that approach and they're like, oh, it's going to like turn eyes. Like, for example, if you're like an Orton Gillingham tutor, right? That is fine. Like you can put on there that you use the Orton Gillingham methods. If you do, don't lie if you don't. I use the Orton Gillingham methods in my tutoring practice. I've been trained there. That's fine. But if you made up your own approach, nobody knows it. So it doesn't help you to put that on there. And then I share my secrets of how to actually use empathy and this next chart, because without empathy in your marketing, it doesn't matter which strategy you try. If you market from the get tutoring from a tutor that has 10 years experience working with kids, that is not going to be as powerful as, is your child struggling with getting their homework done each night? And you're wondering if it's because they have a reading problem? Get a free assessment today to see if reading is hindering your child's success today. There's a much different message there, right? And you're targeting a certain group of people. So I think it's really important for us to understand how we do that. So then I have this, like you can write down what are the demographics of your ideal student. What grade are they? What's their location? What do they need tutoring in? And then what are they saying? What are they doing? You may need, I always need way more lines than this, but you can also do this on some notebook paper as well, and really write down some of the things that you hear them saying, you hear them doing. And this is from the parents' perspective and the child's perspective as well. What are they feeling? What are they hearing? What are they thinking? What are their biggest fears? What are their dreams? And then here, this next part, is I offer you a 30-day challenge, a strategy that you can try for 30 days.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, I got that. It's in the
Great.
Also, I wanted to say that when I started using the empathy map, the empathy chart, whichever word we want to use, this changed everything in my business.
Mm-hmm.
It was so huge because I was one of those tutors at the very beginning that, was marketing with, I have this many years of experience with Spanish and yada, yada, yada. And it was like, okay, no one, few people might care, but no one really cares.
Right.
Unless it's like, it's that old adage that is so very true. People don't care how much you know until they know how much you care.
Yeah.
And so if you can show them that you care, that you know about their child's struggles and that you care about them specifically, then it changes everything.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, no, this 30-day action plan, I would love to hear more about that, because this was one of my favorite parts of the whole freebie. So yeah.
Well, yeah, and I think not only that, but then you get to choose. Do I want to be a part of this 30-day challenge where I'm going to try all these different things, right? Do some of these take more time? Yeah, some of them will take more time, but it's just really the idea of like, look, let's try lots of different things, because you never know what's going to work. Mm-hmm. And a lot of people will just stick to trying one or two things. I really want to get in your mindset of, look, let's try a ton of things that do work. Oh, great. Erwin was able to get the one in the email correct. So we just got to change the one that is somewhere on the very first page that will show up after they sign up. I got to change that so they get the right one. Awesome. So as we take a look at this, the weekly marketing planner, this is for you to start thinking about, okay, I want to be able to market, on Monday through Friday, let's say. What am I going to try? So you've got two choices here. You can try like the 30-day challenge, or you can come up with your own plan based off the worksheet, right? Come back to that worksheet and say, okay, which of these on the worksheet am I going to try? Go to your strategies I'd like to try, and now make a plan for them. Come down here to the weekly marketing plan and come up with a plan. What are you going to do to try it? And hold yourself accountable to it. Feel free to give yourself a big kudos on the back, pat on the back for doing it. So awesome stuff. And then there's just some next steps. If you're interested in getting the business in a box, or if you want to get on the waiting list for the, Jumpstart program, those are two things that are absolutely something that you can do. And then stay in touch, join our Facebook group. It's called the Ultimate Support Group for Online Tutors on Facebook. You'll continue to be a part of a community instead of a solo tutor all by yourself, and be able to get the help that you need. So again, notice here, I've got pictures of me. Again, I'm saying goodbye, but you've got that picture of me, like just kind of chillaxing, like at the end of the day, right? With my tea or my coffee, sitting on my deck. And this really is my deck. This isn't somebody else's deck. This is my deck. And, I even had
that deck.
photographer get like the fire on there. We turn the fire on. But again, it just personalizes it. Like, hey, again, this is me. Like, I literally will sit here sometimes and tutor. Like I work with my Youssef like in the middle of the day, and if it's nice, if it's in like the 70s, I have to work at the right temperature. Otherwise you get too hot and you start to sweat and you're like, this is not fun. But if it's like between like 70 and 72, like then I will go on out and I'll hang out here and actually tutor sometimes.
I remember once we had a coaching session and you were sitting on the deck, I think, with the fire, and eventually I think you had to go inside because it got too hot, but yeah, I that deck is a very familiar sight to me, so I can confirm it's her real place. So.
And I'm grateful that we're able to do those kinds of things. I mean, when I first got started with tutoring, redoing our deck and buying some furniture for our deck was kind of out of the question. And our deck did get to a point last year where it was in a state of ruin. I would like walk out onto my deck and I could get a nail stuck in my foot because it was so bad. Oh, no. And so my husband decided to redo the deck. He rebuilt it himself, and he used the new that new like wood stuff that it's like I don't know, like composite, they call it composite wood. So he rebuilt the whole thing with composite wood, so he never has to paint it again. We never have to have those kinds of problems, and then this year we bought some nice furniture for it. So wow. We're really grateful to be able to have the things that we have in our life and to have this business. It is absolutely amazing. And you guys check it out. Like check out this new form. I'd love to see like what you guys think and give me feedback. I'd love feedback on what you guys think about it. We'll fix that link in the on that first page when you sign up. There must be something that is bringing them to the old one that we'll fix for that. And
I'm trying to find it.
You guys enjoy the rest of your day. Thanks for joining Beth and I, and we will see you